Hey Brick Blogateers, Will here, and today we're looking at set 10273, the Fairground Haunted House. So, it's a big building. A few things that is important to point out. This is an amusement park ride. This is not so much a haunted house. So if you're expecting a haunted house, a better set for you might be going to the Monster Fighters Haunted House set. It's out of print, unfortunately, but it will give you a haunted house. This is more a ride that has been styled to look and feel haunted house-ish. So just a little point of reference for you when you're looking at this set. Overall, the set looks absolutely gorgeous from multiple angles as well. Probably its worst angle is on the back where all the stuff happens, because you can see the chain and the giant wheels that help make up the flywheel mechanism, as well as the crank area. But other than that, it looks very, very pretty from nearly every angle. Plus, we're on 4 16 by 16 plates, so that if you just want to, say, travel with it and you're a little worried about it coming apart because this is hinged, you can fit it on a 32 by 32 base plate. It just may be a little tricky to peel it off the plates, so you might want to upgrade to one of the bigger 48 by 48s. Overall, I was very thrilled with the whole mechanism. There are a couple of areas that I will warn you can be a bit frustrating. So as you can see, the design has along these edges a lot of brick plate sort of design. And that means that the whole building is essentially a giant hollow box, and in between are large wall sections that are built independently. This makes it so that it's very easy to knock them over while you're in the midst of the building. Additionally, the roof portions are very extremely precise in their geometry. So it's going to take a lot of careful maneuvering to get them right without ripping them apart. I've ripped them apart several times, just to let you know. Also, one thing that I wanted to point out, about 30 years ago, I had a LEGO Ideas book that showed me that plates could be put sideways along studs. However, I never saw them being used in a set that way. Well, this is a little bit different because it's a tile, but in the graveyard, there's a tiny little it's a pentagon, 5-sided tile that's put between studs to stand upright. So it was really nice to see that in a set. Now, as I said, this thing hinges open, and it hinges both sides. So you got a really gorgeous display for, well, even if you want to do some internal playing. There's stories tied to each and nearly everything that's in here that are actually in the instructions. So you can have additional fun building. Plus, there's also some cute little extra play features, like this painting up here. You have another panel behind this first one, so that when it's lit from the other side, like I'm going to do right now, you get to see the pharaoh's head as kind of a back lit image behind the painting itself. So that was a really neat little haunted sort of feature. On the other side of the building, we have the doors, and there is actually a knob right up here that when turned, open and closes the doors, so it gets an automatic door feature, or as if it was haunted. The other cute thing that I thought was neat in this set is we have both stairs and a ramp, so it's actually handicap accessible. Now, the ride itself works by the crank in the back, and once you get it all the way up to the top, you'll see that the doors pop open before it hits over and drops down. The other nice thing is, even if I move it all the way up, I could could stop it. And just leave it there. Because an interesting feature is another mechanism in the back that lets you release the tension on the whole mechanism just by moving this toggle switch and dropping the elevator. Now, as you can see, the elevator is pretty deep in there, and you might be worried about getting figures in and out. The nice thing is it's clipped so that the back clip here can rest and be secured into the elevator, and then you can easily maneuver your minifigures so it's easier to play with. Overall, $250 is a steep price point, but as you can see, it's a lot of bricks, and there's a lot of figures in here that we haven't even pointed out. I'm sure you can see them plenty on the various sites, but you got 2 butlers, you got a skeleton, which is a possible 3rd butler, you've got 2 ghosts, you've got a number of patrons, including a guy in a wheelchair, and plus the 2 people that are sitting in here. The only thing you don't get is the Baron, since this is the Baron's house, as you can tell by the signs. Speaking of which, that sign is actually the button to operate the light on the inside. It's just mounted with axles on either side, so it has a little bit of give for the button for the light. Overall, it's well worth the price of $250. The trick is going to be finding it because it's temporarily out of stock, and I imagine even when it gets back in stock, it'll go right back out of stock. So keep your eyes open for this one. Again, it's 10273, the Fairground Haunted House.